Welcome to today's Explainer. Have you ever locked eyes with an animal and just really wondered what they actually think of you? And I don't mean whether they feel affection for you, but what they literally think you are. Well, today we're stripping away the human ego to look at ourselves entirely through the eyes of the creatures we share this planet with.
So let's just dive right in and ask the ultimate question. When an animal looks at you, what exactly do they see? Depending on the species, you might be viewed as family, you could be viewed as the staff, or you might just be seen as a bizarre, terrifying threat. The truth is, animals absolutely do not see humans the way we see ourselves. They don't have the context we do, and understanding that massive gap in perception kind of changes everything about how we interact with the natural world.
We humans, we build our identities around these incredibly complex constructs, right? We define ourselves by our names, our careers, our smartphones, our complicated social circles. But animals, they don't know any of that. To an animal, you are defined completely by your physical presence and your habits. They are judging us strictly through smell, sound, movement, and routine. So the real question isn't whether animals understand humans, it's what kind of creature they think we are based purely on our everyday behavior.
Section 1. Pets, Packmates, and Giants.
Let's kick things off with the animals living right inside our own homes. There's actually a massive evolutionary divide between how dogs and cats experience us. On one hand, you have the dog's view, seeing us as the ultimate provider, protector, and packmate. And on the other hand, you have the cat's view, seeing us way more as a social partner or, honestly, a trainable giant. They both live in the exact same house with you, but their psychological realities couldn't be more different. Now, dogs might actually be the animals that understand us best. They can read our faces, follow when we point our fingers, and instantly sense our mood changes. But a dog doesn't think you're another dog. It knows you look, smell, and act differently. Yet, to them, you aren't a separate species kept at arm's length. You're the emotional anchor of the pack. You are this strange, upright pack member who literally has a terrible sense of smell, but somehow possesses absolute control over the treat drawer. That's exactly why you coming home from work isn't just a casual event. To them, it's a joyous family reunion. Cats, on the flip side, understand humans but respond to us in a completely different way. They definitely don't think you're a cat. They know you're way bigger, louder, and, let's face it, much less graceful. Researchers actually believe cats see humans as social partners, treating us in ways that resemble how they treat other cats, like rubbing against our legs or blinking slowly. But here is the wildest part. Adult cats rarely meow at each other. They mostly just meow at humans. They literally developed a specific, special language just to get our attention and manage us. To a cat, you are basically a very large, slightly clumsy giant that they have successfully trained to open up food cans.
Section 2. Horses and Intelligent Birds.
Because horses are prey animals, their entire survival depends on reading body language. They do not care about your words. They are laser-focused on reading your tension, your posture, your breathing, and your confidence. If you're nervous, the horse immediately feels unsafe. If you're calm, they might actually trust you. They are constantly scanning your energy to figure out if you're a safe leader or a dangerous liability. So the crazy thing here is that to a horse, we are a massive, confusing paradox. Think about our biology for a second. We have forward-facing eyes, and we tend to approach them directly. To a horse, we literally look exactly like a hunter. And yet, this predator-shaped creature brings them food, grooms them, and hangs out with them. Over time, they actually learn that we're safe leaders, treating us as these strange herd members who guide them and ask them to do specific things for reasons only humans seem to get. Switching gears to birds, highly intelligent species like crows, ravens, and parrots don't just see a generic human blob. A crow that has been treated badly by a person can remember that specific person's face for years. And not only that, they will actually warn the other crows about you. That means you are recognized as a very specific individual. A kind person is logged in their brain as safe, while a threatening person is permanently marked as dangerous. Talk about holding a grudge, right? So whether it's a pet parrot who might view its owner as flock member, a mate, or a parent, or just a city pigeon on the sidewalk, to birds in general, we are bizarre, giant, wingless creatures. We've got weird voices and these powerful hands, and we miraculously control the environment around us. We open the doors, we command the lights, and we summon the food. That sheer level of control makes us a massively important feature in their daily world. Section 3. The Wild and the Urban.
When we leave the comfort of our homes and cross paths with animals living wild, the dynamic totally shifts. Picture walking through the woods and spotting a deer. That wild deer is not wondering about your personality, and it definitely doesn't care where you work. For a wild animal, you are stripped down to pure survival metrics. It only registers your shape, your movement, your scent, and your distance. You instantly fall into one of two buckets. You are either an immediate, dangerous threat, or you're just harmless background noise. There is literally no in-between.
It's fascinating how animals in our cities view us, too. Urban animals have completely adapted to see us not really as living beings, but as useful features of the environment. To a pigeon, we are basically a moving tree that occasionally drops food. To a city squirrel, you probably aren't a person at all. You're just a large obstacle with serious snack potential. Sometimes dangerous, sometimes useful, but mostly just there.
And then there's the raccoon. I absolutely love this perspective from the source material. To a raccoon, humans are simply the owners of magical food boxes, what we call trash cans. From their point of view, our entire civilization, with all its crazy human achievements, skyscrapers, and technology, might just look like a highly complicated system designed solely for producing leftovers for them to eat. It is such a hilarious and humbling way to look at human progress.
Section 4. Marine Life and Alien Minds.
Let's take a plunge deep into the ocean now. Dolphins are famously curious about humans, but try to picture how we actually look to them. To a highly agile, streamlined dolphin, we must look unbelievably awkward. We are these odd, slow swimmers who are exceptionally clumsy in the water. We have to strap on special equipment just to survive a few minutes in their world. We move super strangely, and we make a bunch of weird bubbles. We are basically the ocean's most uncoordinated tourists.
And then, of course, you have whales. To a massive whale, a human is so tiny and fragile that we are almost like a small bird hovering next to a large building. Whales might barely even register our presence most of the time, though they do seem to possess this really gentle awareness of our extreme vulnerability around them. They sense our size and our movement, recognizing that we are incredibly fragile in their immense domain.
Now let's look at the octopus. An octopus has an intelligence that is so radically different from ours, it's almost alien. Its arms can explore and react almost entirely on their own. Its skin changes color, and it experiences the world in ways we can barely even fathom. Yet, even with this totally alien mind, octopuses in captivity can actually recognize individual human keepers outside the glass. They behave differently around different people. They might not know what a human is biologically, but they sense that specific humans matter to their daily routine.
Section 5. The Universal Language of Behavior. Zooming all the way out here, let's tie all of these diverse perspectives together. Across the board, animals may understand us less as a specific species and way more as a pattern. They don't ask, "What is a human?" Instead, they learn our patterns. Dogs learn that the jingle of keys means you're leaving. Cats learn that the pop of a can means dinner is served. Squirrels learn which humans throw crumbs. They just figure out the sequence of our predictable behaviors.
Honestly, it's a deeply humbling realization. We constantly assume that we're the main characters of planet Earth, but to animals, we just aren't. They aren't sitting around trying to understand our politics, our careers, or our dreams. They're simply trying to survive. And they do that by watching us way more closely than we even realize. They're navigating us as a variable in their environment, paying close attention to our every choice, every sound, and every single habit. So ultimately, the source material reveals that we are constantly telling animals exactly what kind of creature we are, not with our words, but with our actions. Every single moment teaches them something about us. Behavior is literally the only language that truly translates across the entire animal kingdom.
So what should you take away from today's explainer? Well, as you head out into the world today, try leaving that human ego behind. Look at your pet, look at the bird on your commute, look at the squirrel in the park, and ask yourself this final question. Through your actions, your patterns, and your everyday behavior, what kind of creature are you telling them you are? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.